We've reached that point in this edition of the Ocean Race where the boats are about to make their way back to Europe. We have 3 legs remaining and a maximum of 20 points available for the team that wins all 3. And at this stage, we're asking ourselves, who's still in the running here? Mathematically, who could be lifting that trophy by the time we get to the grand finale in Italy? Well, we've taken over this sail training room here at Sail Newport, and we're going to talk you through some of the combinations that we think are key. First of all, though, we need to remind ourselves where everybody's lying on the scoreboard. So let's start at the top. We have got Team Wholesome BRB. Now, Kevin Escoffier obviously back in the race now after that dismasting in the last leg, and that did cause the scores to close right up for the Swiss team, not securing any points on the way here to Newport. But they are sitting right now on 19 with 1 point in their favour. Behind them in second place is 11th Hour Racing Team, who did win the last leg and climbed right the way up. Charlie N right now on 18 points, hot on the heels of Kevin Escoffier. But it's a little bit harder here to feel happy about moving forwards because right behind second place is Boris Herman's Team Militia, also on 18 points in third place. Effectively, these 3 boats pretty much tied, but there's also a 4th boat in the mix as well. Bioterm, they are down right now in 4th place, and they are a long way off on the points. They are down with 13 points, but mathematically it is possible for them to do something quite extraordinary with the remaining legs. So let's have a look at each of these boats in turn. First of all, Kevin Escoffier. What does the Swiss boat need to do? They don't actually need to sail perfectly. The next leg is double points. If Kevin Escoffier wins that, then for the last 2 remaining legs, he'll be happy with second in each of them. That combination still means that Team Wholesome PRB are in first place. And in fact, on the double points leg, he doesn't even need to win that. He could come in second place as long as they go on to win the last 2 remaining legs. For Team Wholesome PRB, the scorecard does not need to be perfect. It just needs to be strong. Things are a little bit more tricky with the 2 boats that are tied. 11th Hour Racing Team and Team Militia need to finish ahead of the other boat in the tiebreak and Team Wholesome PRB. They pretty much need to outperform the Swiss boat and their shared rival on the double points leg, on the leg into The Hague, and then that final leg into Italy. If they do that, they can move their way up into the top spot. But just looking at the points now, you can see how it is very likely that we will have a tie in the points. And if that happens, then the import series comes into play. When you are tied in the overall, we look at the results from the import and see who's performed the best. And right now, sitting on top spot, it's 11th Hour Racing Team, then it's Team Militia, then it's Bioterm, and then it's Team Wholesome PRB. So a tie break at the top massively favours the Americans, somewhat favours the Germans team, and the Swiss will really lose out. But what about this 4th boat? This outside chance for Paul Meyer? Well, it is there. For Paul Meyer, if they can win the double points leg, then the leg into The Hague, and then the leg into Geneva, they could do it. But in order to lift the trophy, they would need all of these other 3 boats to really be off their game. They need these 3 boats to take it in turns, finishing in last place. It's not just enough for Paul Meyer to sail strong. He needs everybody else to slip up at least once. That's the important combinations, the major way that the scoreboard might be effective. But there's also some pretty funky stuff that could happen here. For example, if Bioterm wins the double points leg and then wins one of the other remaining 2 legs, and if Team Wholesome PRB has a shocker on the way into Aarhus, but then comes second in the last 2 legs, and 11th Hour Racing Team and Team Militia take it in turns to swap around that middle ground, then we will get a point where all 4 of these boats are tied on 31 points apiece in Italy. And then it's going to be very interesting to see who can do well in the remaining import races to try and improve their chances of any tiebreak going in their favour. The key thing here is, for every single one of these teams, they are not going to want to give up an inch. Every single moment to score points, whether it's offshore or whether it's on the import series, is going to be crucial.